And if trials and tests perfected faith, Satan will be the finisher of faith. If trial and tests perfected faith, Satan will be the finisher of it. Hebrews chapter 12 verse 2 declares that Jesus is the author and Jesus is the finisher of your faith. So I want you to know as you watch this telecast that God is not the tempter. God is not the tempter. The mistake we make is saying God is tempting us. God is tempting us. God is not the tempter. In the wilderness, it was the devil that tempted Jesus. In the Garden of Eden, it was the devil that tempted Eve and Adam. It has always been the devil tempting, tempting, tempting. So God is not the tempter. Let me once again call your attention to something Jesus said when he was teaching his disciples principles of prayer. He said, after this manner, therefore pray ye, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Matthew 6, 9 to 10. Just stop and ask yourself this question. Is it God's will that we be tested and tried in heaven? Is it God's will that we be tested and tried in heaven? The answer is obvious. There will be no tests. There will be no trials there. Then that must be God's will for the earth. In Matthew chapter 26 verse 41, Jesus said to his disciples, watch and pray. Watch and pray. My friend, are you watching? Are you praying? Are you watching? Are you praying or are you just sitting there? Watch and pray. Jesus told his disciples, that ye enter not into temptation. Watch and pray so that you do not enter into temptation. So that is telling you that God is not the one that tempts you. So anytime you say that God is tempting me to find out whether I'm going to fall or I'm going to stand, you're wrong. Because God does not tempt us. Jesus told his disciples, watch and pray. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. Evidently, you can avoid the temptations. Evidently, you can avoid the tests. Evidently, you can avoid the trials by watching and by praying, my friend. Most of the time, we get into trials and temptations by not doing what Jesus said to do to avoid them. If we will do what Jesus tells us to do to avoid trials, to avoid temptations, to avoid all these things, we will not be faced with them. But we're not doing it. He's saying, watch and pray that you don't fall into these temptations. But we're not watching, we're not praying, we're just saying, Satan, Satan, Jesus, Jesus, God, God. So God does not tempt. Obviously, Satan tempts. And Jesus is saying, watch and pray that you don't fall into temptations. When you are tempted by the devil to denounce God, when you are tempted by the devil to think God is not alive, when you are tempted by the devil to think Jesus is not the Son of God, it can't be God allowing you to think that way. So God does not tempt. The devil tempts us. The word temptation in James chapter 1 verse 2. It says, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. Count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. Count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. And in verse 13, he said, let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. My friends, don't sit down and say, God is tempting me. God is not tempting you. Keep watching, keep praying, keep holding on to God's unchanging hands so that you will not fall into diverse temptations. For God is not tempting you. It's not the will of God that you suffer. It's His will that you be happy and healthy. So let no man say when he is tempted, I'm tempted of God. The same word is translated trial and test in other parts of the New Testament. So let's paraphrase it. Let no man say that it is God doing the tempting and trying. Don't ever say that God is tempting me. I guess because since I've lost my job, God must be tempting me to see what I'm going to do. Since my children are rebelling, God must be tempting me. Since my finances are low, God must be tempting me. God does not tempt. So let no man say that it is God doing the tempting and trying, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. God cannot be tempted with evil, and God does not tempt any person. You hear that, my friend? God will not tempt you, but God may allow you to be tempted. And it becomes your belief and your faith in God that will hold you strong when the devil is tempting you. To prove to the devil that you are God's own child. So do not err, my beloved brethren, or as we would say, do not be misled. Do not be misled. Every good and perfect gift is from above. God is the giver of every good and perfect gift. God is the giver of every good and perfect gift. And God is the God who makes all good, all bad things right, if it is His will. So, there are two forces at work. The Father is the giver of all good in John 10:10. Jesus said, the thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy, but I come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. The thief has come to kill, to steal, and to destroy. That's one force. But another force, Jesus, who has come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. The thief has come to kill you. The thief has come to destroy you. The thief has come to steal from you. But Jesus has come that those things will be turned upside down. He has come that you will have life and have it more abundantly. Thank God that He came to bring life. Thank God that Jesus came to bring life, not trials. So there are two opposing forces here. The force of evil and the force of righteousness. The force of evil steals, kills, and destroys. If you let him, Satan will steal your faith. If you let him. Remember, Satan comes to church every Sunday. Remember, Satan never misses any Sunday in church. Remember, that Satan sleeps in the house of God 365 days in a year. And he's just getting ready to prowl and to roar and to look for who to devour. So if you let him, he will steal your faith. He will kill your testimony and he will destroy your health. If you let him.